So meanwhile, I thought it would be nice to make a little Advent of Code library, because Advent of Code's coming up in a few months. Let's see, it's August 22nd, so it's September, October, November, December. We got 4 months to go. Documents dev, and we have AOC 2021. But I just want to create, as in the stream title, I want to create a kind of sort of a general purpose library for Advent of Code that we could use instead of having to rewrite like the code that does grids and stuff like that. We always have these bits of code that will, like game of life kind of thing where you parse a grid, or you step through a grid and you look at all the neighbors and stuff like that. It would be nice to have that as a sort of a general purpose thing, as opposed to rewriting it each time. So let's create a new repo over here. Repos, let's create a new repo. There we go. Congenial waffle. That's not a good name for a repo. Just take a look here. Congenial octo rotary phone. Automatic octo sniffle. Scaling waffle. None of these suggest, so we're just going to say AOC lib rs and do that. A general purpose utility library for creating, solving AOC problems. Yeah. Add a README? Sure. Add a get ignore? Sure. What do we got? Oh, Rust will create that for us. Okay. And choose license MIT. Creating a public library in your personal account. Yep. That's what I want to do. Okay. So let's clone this. Blam. Git clone here. AOC lib. And then we just say cargo init. Boom. And then we can just git status, git add, git ignore, cargo and source, git commit, initial commit. Actually, it isn't the initial commit, right? But I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so the idea is let's go to Advent of Code. I'm going to go over here and go to Advent of Code and then log in. I don't know if it's going to ask me for password, so Advent of Code, log in using GitHub. Oh yeah, we're good. Okay, so I didn't have to do anything special. It's right here. Oh, there we go. Sorry for the flashing. All right, so this was last year's, 2021. 2022 hasn't started yet, but I figure what we can do is start with 2015 and work our way through. What we do is we have, I created a binary, didn't I? Dang it, I want to change it to a library. Okay, so that's easy enough. Move source main, lib, source lib. And then in cargo.toml, we don't have to do anything special there, right? Let me just do a quick check here. Cargo new lib. I just want to see if the cargo.toml has anything fancy in it for libraries. No, it's just package, version, edition, and dependency. So it's perfect. Okay. We can get rid of that. All right, so cargo, the only thing is, we can run cargo test, but there's no tests. And of course, we don't need a main. Okay, so let's look at the first problem and see what sort of general purpose things we could have. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to see what do we need to solve. We're counting left parens and right parens. And a left paren is up a floor, and right paren is down a floor. So if we take this to be numbers, we just say this is add 1 and this is subtract 1. Okay, so let's create a library which can read a file. I also need to create a a binary that we can run these in. But let's just start off for now. Let's have something pub fun read to chars, right? And we'll give it a path. What is it? Standard path? I've forgotten. I forgot where it is. We'll find out. T. So we just need a path name. T. And then this is going to return a vec of char. Because this is what we want, right? If we want to just read all the chars and then just process them. So we have let data, I guess, is equal to standard fs read to string of path name. Expect unable to open file. And then we're going to return data dot chars. Is that all we need to do? So that's pretty straightforward if that's all we need to do. There is a path, but there's an as path as well. Let's take a look at what that is. Docs.rs. Why is it saying from? I want, what am I missing? I'm missing something here, path. Let's take a look at standard. Oh, I'm in config, that's why. I'm not in like docs.rs, here we go. There's path iter, standard path. So traits. I can't believe I've forgotten how to do this because I've done this a million times and now I don't know how to do it. Oh, I see. This purpose is as ref path. Okay. So maybe that's what I wanted all along. And then just pull in path. Yeah. So I don't know, will this build? Expected effect of char, and what am I returning? Oh, I probably need to do a collect, right? Yeah, okay. Wow, that was annoyingly long. Okay, but now I've got this. So what I want to do is create a main, or a binary, make dir source bin, and then source bin AOC. I guess run AOC maybe? I don't know. I want to call it something that's pretty obvious. And right now I'm just going to say use AOC lib rs read to chars fn main and don't do anything and see if this even finds it. It didn't complain. Println hello world. Okay. And the warning's just that I'm not using this. Okay, so that worked fine. So now all I want to do is be able to open a file and say read to chars. So I can say let ch is equal to read to chars input / 2015-01.text. And then println length is equal to this ch.len. Okay, and that worked, but it won't run because we don't have input, and I want to grab the input now. So let's get my puzzle input. Let's save it as 2015-01.text. Boom, and we'll move that from downloads to input, and cargo run, and see what blows up. Okay, so it found all 7,000. I'm assuming it's 7,000. Yep, 7,000. Okay, so step one is done. So now all we need to do is iterate on that to get the answer. I don't want to keep it like this though, because I want to be able to specify a year and a day and have that run. But just for now, we can do this. So all we're doing is mapping open paren to a +1 and close paren to a -1. ch.iter.map x and match x like this, and then less than is maps to +1, and this one maps to -1, and everything else maps to a panic. Invalid character in input. All right, and then we're just sum, right? And that's going to be the answer, so we can just print that out. Print then day 1 part 1 is equal to this. All right, that's pretty straightforward. Of course, I got it wrong. Looks like I need to close the match. All right, that's the panic, that's the match, that's the map. Okay. Type annotations needed. Oh, do I need to say that this is like a U? Oh, not a U, an I32. Can I do that? No? It still doesn't like that, huh? Okay. Well, I can specify it here then. Get rid of these. Okay, so if I say cargo run, it gives me 232. We can shove in here just to make sure we got the right answer. Of course it's the right answer. Why would anybody doubt me? Okay, so that's interesting. We have now like a basic structure for the way we want to work this. Source lib. This is straightforward, so we can just read to chars and then walk them. I wonder if we can even pass in like a closure to that, right? And just run that directly. For now, though, let's take a look at part 2 and see what complications there are on that, if any. Now, given the same instructions, find the position of the first character that causes him to enter the basement floor. Oh, okay. So the first time it goes negative. And we just need the position of that. I guess we could create a mutable here, or we could just reiterate. Day 1 part 2 is equal to this. Should we just pass in, have it take a closure, right? We have read to chars, and maybe we can create a trait which will allow us to put a closure on this without having to go through the map. Or we just do this. Map x match x. It's the same exact thing, except we're going to stop. What's the easiest way to do this? Because if I just do this the same exact way, then it's going to map everything, and then we just want to stop as soon as we go negative. So we could just do it this way, just through the first basement equals none. We can just say, oh, we don't actually know, right? I guess we can do it this way. For I C in CH. Maybe like that? No, like this. Let step is equal to this. And then I'll fix the formatting in a second. I'm just trying to think of how can we make this more general. Let current floor equals 0 plus equals step if curve floor is less than 0. And we have to get the position. Pause ch in ch iter enumerate. And we just say curve floor is less than 0. Print lin day 1 part 2 is equal to pause like that, and then break. Okay. And that fails because I don't have X. I want to match C. Okay. And it's 1782. That's not the right answer. Uh-oh. Answer is too low. Oh, are we starting on floor 1? Or are we starting on floor 0? Oh, no, it says floor 0. Okay. Now, given the instructions, find the position of the character. Oh, right. So we're off by 1. Got it. Pause plus 1. All right, so 1783, but it's going to tell me I have another minute to wait. 22 seconds. Okay. So was there anything here? The question is there anything here that we can make more general, or here that we can make more general? I was thinking that we could pass in a closure that'll allow us to do this more generally. But I can't think of a good way to syntax that, right? We have, we could say ch dot, I don't know, create a function named map char to int, and then have like a vec of this, and have those map to vec of A1, I32, up 1 floor. So I32 and -1 I32, right? And then have that iterate, and then we can just say sum on that. But I don't know how to make that more general purpose without making this like O of n every time we want to search something. That would be confusing. Is there a better way to do this mapping, I guess? We could create like a hash set, or sorry, a hash map, which maps these things into these things, and then that's kind of slow, right? I think this is the most straightforward for this problem anyway. All right, we should be done here. That's the right answer. Okay. So, let's create a separate file, maybe for each advent of code day, and then have run AOC just run whichever one. Oops, let's do that. We say nvim source bin mod.rs, and that way we can say mod AOC 2015 01. Right? And now this doesn't exist, so we can just create the file source bin AOC 2015 01, and then cat source bin AOC. Oh, what's in there? Run AOC, right? And this is going to be AOC 2015 01. And then in our main, oops, can't use that way. No. Let's source bin run AOC. We'll say use AOC 2015-01 star, maybe, and then just run that. AOC 2015-01. Like that. Will that work? No. Create. And this doesn't like it. Oh. Okay, so I should be able to do this then, right? Let's edit this and see if this works. If this works, then we have kind of a clue as to where we're going. Okay. So I should be able to say, right? So if I say mod AOC 2015, let's not blow away the code this time. Bin AOC, no. Run. And then AOC 2015, and in here there's mod. And I say pub mod this, pub use AOC 2015-01 star. Can I do that? And comment that out. Cargo run. Okay, so that works. We don't need that then. It'd be nice if we could just do it. Okay, so now what we do, so we have the basic structure, is that for each year, we'll have a mod file that contains each individual item. And the question is, do I need pub in here? Yes. Do I need the pub on both? No, I just need pub on that. This just has the mod here and then each one of these. So then if I want to do part 2, okay. So we're getting closer. This is the general runner, so I want to be able to have it select the year and day. So let's save everything and commit these changes. Cargo. Oh, what's this? Input and source. Oh, this is the solution. How did that get over here? I'm very confused how I did that. Source bin AOC, no, run, and then AOC 2015, and we have just the one file. So let's put the other answer, oops, the other answer here, oops. Like that. Oh, data. Okay, and now we got 1783, which is the correct answer. Okay, so the next thing I'd want to do is be able to return the values to the main runner. So we'll have like a runner that this then implements as a trait. That would be good. So if we have a source bin run AOC, what's a good way to do this? So if we have inside our main, do we have the ability to, like if I said pub trait here, can I have an empty trait, right? Can I have marker traits? Yeah, okay. And then in AOC, can I say use create foo? Struct, I'm just trying something out here. I'm going to delete this in a second. Bar. Impl foo for bar. Okay. Yeah, so that works. So I can use create foo which means that in our run AOC, I can put all sorts of stuff here and then use them in any of the submodules. Okay, so let's delete this. And what we're going to do is create a trait which allows us to run. I'll call it runner. All right, and the runner will have a part1, and it'll output a vec of string. Why a vec of string? Because some answers have a multi-line output. So each one's going to have a vec of string, and then part2, vec of string. And then what I'll do is in here, I'll create a struct. I don't know if we should name it based on the name of the day. And it's just a basic structure like this. And then we say impl runner or create runner for not quite Lisp. And if I do that, it should complain that I haven't implemented part 1 and part 2. Okay, so now struct not quite Lisp is going to contain a data, which is going to be vec of char. And then we're going to have a new, which is going to read it in. Impl, not quite this. Yeah, I don't think I should be calling it by these names. All right, and then this would be pubfun new. And new is basically going to just do this. Returning self. And it's just self data that, like that. And then impl runner is going to use that data, right? Fn part1 vec of string. And it's going to do this, and it's going to do that, and then it's going to just say vec bang format bang this. And that's part 1. I don't know if that'll work, but we'll find out. And then part 2, same deal. Instead of this, we just say return format bang, and we're just going to return the answer as a vec of string, like that. Otherwise, we're going to panic. No answer fan. I'm missing something here. This goes like this. This goes like this. There we go. All right, so can we do that? Not yet. Oh, self data. And here, oh, right. So now we want to create a runner. So I want to be able to pass in a runner to something that just runs it. So we're going to say run solution, and we're going to pass in something that is a runner. Solution T. Like that, and then it's just going to say println. Oh, we're going to need to grab the name too, right? So each one's going to have a name. Let's do that. Name. That's general purpose there, but we could eventually have it be a year and a day, right? So we can say dot dash dash dash, and then the name, like that, and say solution.name, like that, and then say println part 1, solution part 1. And this way now we can have a, in here we can add code to time, how long it takes to run the solutions. Self data is no good. This function, right, this needs to have a self. Probably mutable self, right? Because we're going to be modifying things for between part 1 and part 2. So that means I need to change the trait. Oops. And then self here. And I'll have to write a name. Not found in scope. Oh, right. So now I need to say let x is equal to not quite Lisp new, like that. And then we're missing name. Okay, so fn name self. I guess it doesn't really need a self parameter, right? And this just returns a string, and it's going to return 2015 day 1 to string. Vecstring cannot be formatted with the default. Oh, right. So now each one of these needs to be printed nicely, right? Because if we have multiple lines, if we have one line, we can just print it there. If we have multiple lines, then we want to have them all line up directly this way. So let P1 is equals to solution part 1. Let first is equal to P1 dot iter dot next unwrap. Can I do that, or is it going to complain that it doesn't live long enough? So then we're going to say this first here, and then if there's more, while let some n line is equal to p1.next. What we'll do is we'll format it by saying println part1 colon space line. This way we can have a multiple line solution. And then we have to duplicate code, which I don't like to do, but we're going to do it just for now, and then maybe we can clean it up. Part 2, the first line of part 2 is that, and that's that. Okay. Changing this to be mutable. Oh, because we're making this, we're passing this in mutably. Can I say that? Yeah, temporary value free. So we're creating this iter, and then it's freeing it. So we have to save the vector itself, right? Vector 1 is equal to part 1, and then we can say p1 is equal to v1.iter. Yeah, and then we do the same thing down here. v2, and then this becomes v2.iter. Yeah, okay, and we have 5 warnings. Oh, this doesn't need to be mutable, right? And what else? We have oh, we're never calling run solution. Okay, so now we're going to say, come on, what x is that? And we say run solution of x. Can I just do that, and we'll figure it out? Nope. Okay, so, all right, so now it's printing it out here. It's got the little title, and it's got part 1 and part 2. All right, so we're getting closer. Now I want to be able to calculate how long it takes, but these are so fast that it's not going to really help. The other thing is that I don't want to do it this way. I'm going to change the name of this, and I'll just call it AOC 2015-01. And that's what, it wants to have a capital for structs, right? So we'll do that here too. And that should still run. Okay. So I think this is the basic structure now. The only thing is now we have to create one of these for each of the days. And I don't want to do that individually. Can I go to the mod here and create a function run 2015, which does this, right? For each one, I can just say this, and it'll run. Oh, but if I want to have individual, I can pass in. I say which one I want to run. Can I create a... So those are structs. I can't create like an array of struct references that I could new. And then just pick the one out of the... All right, so for now, let's just do it this way. We'll just call run 2015. Like that. We'll get rid of this bracket, or close off the bracket there, and then run solution should be a pub. Right, and I can say, oops, great. All right, let's see if that works. Nope. Oh, I meant to put that here. Great. Okay, and we can say run, and it works. Okay. And then so now I can just say run 2015, 16, 17, and 18 as I go through the solutions. So this, okay, so most of the work we've done here is just setting up the runner, not the library. Let's commit these changes. Oh, I never committed the previous ones. Commit structure, try out, status, get. Oh, this is just the file that I deleted, right? Or I put in somewhere else. Yeah, so I can delete that now, and I can just say git commit -am. Slightly better layout. Okay, so now we're ready for day 2. So day 1 was pretty straightforward. All we had to do was count parentheses, and we have a simple library function to be able to convert characters into a vector, or a path name into a vector of characters, and it's very straightforward. But at least it's now like in one place to worry about. Tar83, thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. Wish I had rewards for people who followed me, but I don't. Oh well. Day 2, I was told there would be no math. So what are we doing here? A present with dimensions 2 by 3 by 4 requires 2 times 6 plus 2 times 12 times 2 times 8, 52 square feet of wrapping paper, plus 6 square feet of slack, for a total of 58 square feet. So it's 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the width times the height, plus 2 times the length times the height. Okay. So let's take a look at what the puzzle input looks like, and maybe we can write a general purpose routine. All right, so it's just number x, number x, number. So what we could do, let's save this. 2015-02.txt. Move downloads 2015 to input. Good. So, yeah, we can create a utility function that can allow us to extract a series of numbers with a given separator from a file. right? So we can say pub fun, I don't know, numbers. And we can say t as ref path name t, and it returns a vec of it's a vec of let's just hard code it to I32 for now, and then we can make it general later. Oh, and then we need a separated character, sep char. So what we want to do is read the file. I guess we could just read to string like we did up here, and then just split it on new lines, and then split internally as a on the separator. Oops, on the separator. So let data is equal to standard. I guess we can put this in here. Use standard fs to string. Okay, and then we just say read to string, path name, expect, unable to open file. And then I guess we need a result, mut result, vec new, and we're going to return result. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to split for line in data split on the new line, right? And then next would be we want to split the line on the separator. Line.split separator. We can do that, right? This will give us unknown. Really? That's a string, so we should be able to split it. Isn't this an iterator? We should be able to just say a result.push iter.map of x and x.parse. We're doing I32s, right? And then expect unable to parse number, right? And then we want to actually after that we want to collect it into a vec of I32s, right? And that's all we need to do, right? Oh, I just called sep. Oh, that's why it was unknown. There we go. Now it says split char. Okay. I don't know why I type separator. Okay, so that works, or at least builds. Let's see if we can use it to solve day 2. So day 2, we want to run through each one of the entries, and then just basically calculate each one of the answers, right? So if we create a present type that we can use to parse, yeah, so we can do that. So let's go to source bin, and then we're going to say we're going to create an AOC 2015-02.rs. And let's model it off after source bin run AOC 2015-01, right? So we're just going to do this, but instead of this, we're going to say numbers. Just a basic structure. All it needs is to have is a length, width, and height. So we can create a a tuple struct. A struct present, which is going to be I32 3, right? And then we just need to read those. So in our pub struct AOC 2015-02, we're going to have just a vector of presence, right? Pres vec present. So each gift box will be listed in here. So now in our new function, right, we're going to return a self, and we're just going to say data is equal to numbers of input 2015-02.text. So this should be then a vector of, how come I can't look that type up? Do I have to save it? Oh, maybe I have to add it to the mod. Yeah. And now it doesn't recognize numbers. Oh, that's right, numbers and then separated by an X character. And I didn't return a self. Self, pres. I'm just going to put in something here, just so I can get this thing to compile. And then take a look at data. Yeah, vec of I32, perfect. Okay, so now that we have those, we want to create a new gift box, a new present for each one. So for D in data, we're going to need to create a result here, right? Let new pres vec new, and we just say pres dot push. Oh, and then we need to convert it into a gift box. So we need a present new D, like that. And we don't have this yet, but we can create one. Impl present, then new. It's just a vector or an array of I32s, right? And that returns a self. And we're just going to say self. Oh. What's the easiest way to do this? I guess we could just say v of 0 v of 1 v of 2. It's kind of sloppy. And it doesn't even build. Oh, I forgot this part here. Vec new, only fn traits may use parentheses. Oh, this should be equal sign. Doesn't have a size known to compile. Oh, I got this backwards, like that. Okay, and now we can't do this. Oh, expected ampersand I32. So we can just bar there. Yes, okay. So this should just be pres. And that works. Let's try calling it from the main. Oh, no, we don't call it from main, we call it from here. I forgot. So, yeah, see, this is why this is going to get a little sloppy. Day 01, day 02. I'm going to have to refactor this, I think, because I want to be able to pick a day out. Oh. Use of undeclared type. So that means I don't have a Source bin, run AOC, AOC 2015, AOC 2015-02. Oh, maybe it's in the mod? I forgot to... Oh, yeah, here. Trait runner is not implemented. Right. Okay, so we have to implement runner. And this is going to be fn name. It's going to return a string, which is just going to be 2015 day 2 string. Part 1 is going to return a vec of string. And for now, it's just going to, we just say vec bang. And part 2 will be the same thing. Nope. Oh, we don't have runner because I need to say use create runner. Oh, and I forgot the self and the mut self here. There we go. Okay, so now it builds. And in part 1, so how do we solve part 1? We just say for each... What we can do is just have it create this, calculate the surface area as part of a present here. We can just say fn surface area. Right, and that'll give us this number, and then slack will be a separate number because we need to sort these, right? The area of the smallest side. So, that means each one of these needs to be sorted. Okay, so let's, because in order to get the small side, you basically just multiply the two smallest numbers. If I say, instead of for D in data, I can say for D in mute data, and then say d.sort. Well, let me do that. It didn't yell at me. Okay, so now fn surface area of self is going to return I32. I don't know why I'm going I32. We're not going to have negative side lengths, right? So surface area is just 2 times self of 0, right? Times self of 1 plus 2 times self of 0 times self of 2 plus 2 times self of 1 times self of 2. Right? I mean, that's pretty straightforward. Does that work? It does not work. No implementation for integer times I. It's self of 0 because this is a tuple and it's got a single tuple entry. Maybe I should have done it separately. 0 of 0 times 0 of 2. Yeah, this is a little awkward. I don't think I did this the best way. There's no dot. Why did I put a dot here? Okay. And then this is just 0 of 2, right? Okay, so that's surface area. And then the slack is just the area of the smallest side. So we can just say slack self is I32. So it's just area of the small side, which is self 0 of 0 times self dot 0 of 1. All right. Okay, so we should be able to do part 1 now. Pretty straightforward. We say self dot pres dot iter. I'm going to map each present, and we're going to say the present surface area plus the slack, right? And that's all we need to do. And sum it up. And then put it in a string. Vec bang. Format bang. Like this. Like this, like this, like this, and like that. That closes the format, and that closes the vec. Is that all we need to do? It built. If I run, what happens? It fails. Unable to parse number. Right, this is the first time we're doing this. Oh, empty. Are we getting like an empty string? Let's go to lib. And what we can do is say, we want to make sure that the line is not empty. So maybe we can do that here. If not, line is empty. Okay. Panic at called option unwrap, line 27. Okay. 27. Oh, I'm assuming I'm going to return something. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Let's return something then so we don't panic. Hello to string. There. Okay, so if we run that, we get this number here. Who knows if it's right? Let's find out. It's the right answer. Okay, that's good news. Then what we want to do for part 2 is also running low on ribbon. Ribbon's all the same width, so they don't have to worry about the length they need to order, which would again like to be exact. The shortest distance around its sides, or the smallest perimeter of any one face. Each present also requires a bow made out of ribbon as well. The feet of the ribbon required for the perfect bow is equal to the cubic feet of the volume of the present. Don't ask how they tied the bow, though. They'll never tell. Okay. So we have to figure out what the smallest face is, and it looks like all we have to do is add the two smallest sides together. And then we need a bow. Which is just the volume. Okay. I mean, that seems straightforward. Let's add to the present ribbon. Return I32. And it's just 2 times self.0 of 0 plus 2 times self.0 of 1, right? That's this part here. This gives us the perimeter, and now we want to add on just the 3 values multiplied together. Self.0 of 0 times self.0 of 1 times self.0 of 2. Right? It builds, but we're not calling ribbon yet, so we have a warning here. That's fine. And we're going to use that in part 2. It seems a little too easy, but I guess, again, this is still an early day one, so it's just format bang. The answer is going to be self.pres.iter.map. And then we're just going to sum up all the p's for the amount of ribbon we need. Right? Sum I32. But But the bottom line is we're testing our, oh, gotta close that, gotta close that. Let's see if we got it right. It's a bigger number. That's the right answer. Okay. So I think what we can do now is make this general, right? So right now we in our lib we have this all hard coded as I32, but we can add a second parameter or a second generic here to specify what to put in here. So if I say U is going to be and all we're doing is converting it from a string, right? So from stir, oops, something that can be converted from a string, and put a U here. And that means we can put the U over here and a U over here. Probably missing something. What am I missing? From stir not found in the scope. Where is from stirs found? This is the path module. Can I just put it from stir? Will that go? Yes. Standard string from stir. Okay. Ooh. What is this saying here? It doesn't implement debug. Oh, because the expect is going to try to print it in debug mode. Can I say from stir plus debug? No, apparently I cannot say, because it's not a trait. Oh, I have to import the trait. Core format debug, standard format debug. Let's use standard. Still not good enough. Okay. Oh, this has to implement debug. U as from stir error has to implement debug. This is the error. Huh. So can I add that here? If I get rid of this part here and then just use a where statement? What is this saying? Okay, let's try that. Where this mess implements debug, right? Whatever that mess is. Okay, it builds. So thank you, Rust compiler, for telling me what to do. That's good news. So now, but this is a general purpose thing, right? So we should be able to still run this and still comes up with I32s because it's based on whatever is being the context of the function. So if I change all of these to U32s, for example, it should still work, and just calling them all U32s. Yeah, and if I say run, it all just runs. Okay, so that's good. We have a good general purpose number parser reader. That's pretty nice. Okay, should we do one more day? I think we should do one more day and then call it a stream. Where are we? Here. So we've gotten day 1 and day 2. What's day 3 look like? Santa's delivering presents to an infinite 2-dimensional grid. See, yeah, okay. So now we have the grid thing. And we want to be able to do grid handling. I mean, the easiest way to do this in general is just use a hash set or a hash map to map a grid coordinate. I think in this case, all we're going to do is we're counting how many houses there are, right? How many houses receive at least one present, right? So all we need to do is map each one of these characters, north, south, east, and west, to a direction and then come up with a new direction, X and Y coordinates, and insert that into a hash map. Which means no new library function as far as I can tell, unless we want to create like a general purpose grid, a visit grid library function. Which might be overkill for this. See how this is getting really annoying now, isn't it? Right. Okay, so now we need to create this file. Pub struct AOC 2015-03 impl runner. Oh yeah. Use crate runner for AOC 2015-03, and we're going to just create the basic ones. Name self string 2015 day 3 string. I think I'm going to change this name business to return just a tuple of year and day. That way the string, the formatting is not dependent on how I type it in here. Part 1 itself is going to return a vec of string, and here we're just going to return a vec of unsolved. I should create a template for this, right? To string, like that, and then part 2. So that should be that. Itan D, thank you for the follow. Very much appreciated. New. Impl AOC 2015-03 pubfun new. Returning self, and it's just a self. There. Okay, and then running this just results in nothing. Unsolved and unsolved. Okay, so I think we're pretty good here. Git status, git add input and source, git status, git commit -m, solved part 2, and started and made a template for remaining parts. All right, because this is a template file, essentially. Right, it's just the name of the thing that you want to change, and then what we can do is make a utilisnip that generates this for us. Vim, nvim, config, where's utilisnip? Altisnip, rust. All right, so snippet AOC, right? Oh, shoot. Here. And then this just becomes $1. $1. Yeah, this, I don't know. Unnamed. Like that. Does that look good? And now if I wanted to create a new snippet, I can just say 404. Oops. And Vim, and maybe I can do that here. Let me try. If I say AOC leader P, there it is. And now I can just say AOC 2015-04. Oops. I missed this one. Okay, so let's fix that. Quit bang. Alta. This should be $1 as well. Okay, so we have the AOC snippet, but I'm pretty much at the end of my stream today. So we're going to call it here. And then what I'm going to do is, let's see, get status. Is this all clean? I can push this all up. And we have, so we spent all stream creating 2 functions and then using them. So we're slowly getting there. And then I got to figure out how to, I haven't published anything to crates.io yet. So I got to figure out how to do that. And then there's a way to exclude specific data. Like I don't want the input text files and I don't want the binary stuff in there, but everything else goes. So we'll figure it out.